Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
What was the last discussion?
Service.
Services with
Services
JSON
and
server.
Postman.
HTTP methods and the rest of the services.
Okay. Do you have any questions from previous class?
So I have a questions on services.
Okay.
Yeah. I have seen some of the services are created using injectable and all those things, not written provider equal to root in those services, but someone who is using the services, like some other component who is using the services, they are to definitely injecting that in the constructor, but at the same time, they are also maintaining a provider array inside the constructor and again injecting those. I mean, what is the meaning of those?
What is the point of writing provided in root and injecting in the module?
No, that I understand. You mentioned then across all the application it will be available if I write provider equal to root. But some of the components, inside the components also, can we define a provider, right? Provider array, or only in the module level only is it accepted to define providers array?
Providers array can be there in
Components also, no?
component also.
Yeah, I have seen. I didn't understand the meaning. That's why I asked you. Like some of the services they simply imported and injected in the constructor and using it, and some of the things they are not. I mean, importing like that way. They are just writing in the component providers equal to that service name. Like some of the authentication guard service, they are writing in the providers, and then they are again injecting in the constructor and using it. So, does it carry some different meaning?
Yes.
How it is different, like injecting in the provider of the component itself.
So if I'm not wrong, you are asking what is the point of adding providers array in the component, right?
Correct. In the provider's array of a component and over that provider array inject the any other service.
Okay. Anyone who knows? Do you know?
Providers array is used for specific model we are defining module.
No. Anything else?
So I was giving KT to someone junior, and she asked me the questions. So I said I will come back. I am also searching the answer.
Okay. Yeah. I was looking for answer from other people. If anybody knows. Anyone? Let me explain then. The answer is when you create a provider array in component, then that will not share the same instance. It will not share the same instance. it will create a new instance for that particular component again.
I mean, particular service again.
Suppose one service is there. That service is used by two components, component 1 and component 2, and that service is registered either in provided in root or it is registered in the modules providers array. Then both the components will share the same instance. Both the components will share the same instance of the component. When we inject a service inside the provider's array of a component, it will not reuse the instance that is already available. It will create a new instance for that service and it will use that. So that whenever you make some changes to that service that is being used by component 1 and 2, that's a different instance. And the service instance that is being used by component 3 is a different instance. Both the instances are completely different. So if you make some changes to first instance, second one will not be affected. If you make any changes to second instance, the first one will not be affected. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
why you need of to another instance, like when it is a service?
Ideally, we are not supposed to use. Yeah, that is what service says. Service says don't create a lot of instance for a service. There should be only one instance and all the components should use. That is what the definition of service says. And we are supposed to do that also. But if a component wants, I want to maintain a separate copy of the service.
Okay, okay.
Somebody else should not be able to touch my instance. Then that component will inject that service in the provider's array.
Okay, okay. It's really, thank you so much. I mean, it clears a lot of things.
Okay.
Does it make sense to all 30 people, or you want me to explain an example?
It
So
was a
yeah,
great explanation, sir. I
The,
mean, thank you so much.
no, no,
wonderful.
the way I answered, does it make sense to everyone or not?
No, sir, please explain an example.
Okay.
Hello.
Mhm.
Yeah, one question. We can add the providers at module level also. Once so
Yeah,
we add the provider at module level and we inject that service in provider.
Then
That
same,
means that
everyone is using same instance. Then everyone is using same instance as per said. As
no,
sir
not everyone. The components available in that module only, not
correct,
from
correct,
other
correct.
module.
you mean
There are there are three
we
things.
can, hello.
Yeah.
I mean we can add the providers at component level as well as the at module level, right? And if
We
we add the providers at component level and inject the service, then it will create the instance for that component.
There are three possible options. Let me explain. The first possible option is in the service itself, you write provided in root. When we write provided in root, that service is available across the project. The same instance will be shared across the project. Second option is we don't write provided in root, but we register the service in the modules providers array. In that case, the service becomes available to one module. All the components of that module will share the same instance. The third option is adding the service in a component. When we add a service in components providers array, a new instance for that particular component will be created, but other components will still share the same instance. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you
Okay.
please give one example?
Yeah, we have one math service.
Yes, otherwise yesterday we can explain.
We can understand the existing one only.
Yes,
There is
yes.
something called math service. In this math service, in this math service, I will declare some name here. In this math service, I will have a variable here. Anyway, I have a variable pi. Pi value is 3.141, which is a public data. So it should be fine. Just to understand the concept, we are doing this. Then there is a component called math demo one component. First of all, it's provided in root, right?
Yes.
Now we have math demo one. This is math demo one component. Then this is math demo 2 component. Then I'll create one more component. I'll say math demo 3. Math demo 3 component. There are 3 components: math demo 1, math demo 2, math demo 3. And what I will do, what I will do in center component, I will enable math demo 1, math demo 2, and math demo 3. There are 3 components. Now I'll go to math demo 3 also. In math demo 3, so it should say math demo 1, math demo 2, math demo 3. 3 things are working. Okay, math demo 1 is working, math demo 2 is working, math demo 3 is working. Okay, fine. In service, there is a variable whose name is pi, or I can have a variable called name, or I can have a variable ABC, or A is a variable whose value is 10. A is a variable whose value is 10. If math demo 1 wants to use, okay, it is already there. X, I'll make it X. X is a variable. So here, this math obj is private. If it is private, it means we can use it only inside the TS file, not in HTML file. To directly use this math object in HTML, I will make it public. I mean, this math service object is public now. So that I'll make it public so that I can use that math obj, so that I can use this math obj in the HTML file. Now what I'll do, I'll go to math demo1.html and I will use x value is math obj dot x. So it prints x value is 10. Now I will have a input box, and I'll add a two-way data winding here. ng model is equal to x. The same thing I'll do it in math demo 2. The same thing I will do it in math demo 3. Now what happens? It should not be x, math obj.x. It should be math obj.x. It should be math obj.x. So directly we are printing the value from service. If we do anything here, we will update the data in service. So type equal to number. Input type equal to number. So we are directly printing the value from service. And if we do any, sorry,
Number should be in bracket.
Code.
yeah, it should
Type
be fine.
type number.
Type number.
This one you are saying like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So it is working fine. X value is 10. When I change it here, how many components will be affected?
3.
All three.
All.
Three.
All component are affected.
This global.
If I change here, how many will be affected?
One.
All three.
If I change here, how many will be affected?
3.
One.
Three.
No,
3. All components should get it.
we didn't do anything specific here. We are yet to do. Huh?
Yes.
I just explained the concept, but I didn't do. Now, this guy feels like, okay, if I use this variable, it is a common variable. There are thousands people they are using and they will keep updating. I don't want to get affected by their changes. I will maintain my own instance for the service. Then what math demo 3 will do? Math demo 3, what it will do? Math
Sanjay,
demo,
one point here I wanted to highlight.
yeah.
In what we can say, transferring data from one component to another component using services. Here we are sharing the data between one component to another component. Like
Yes,
right?
yes,
It's like this. We
Yes.
can share the data through services.
yes. Now, if we add providers array, if we add providers array, and I'll say math service, then I'm saying that, okay, if other people they want to share the same instance, let them share. But I don't want to share their instance. I want a new instance. You are asking Angular, hey, create a new instance of math service for my component. I don't want to use other people's instance. Actually, service definition says that, but there is an option you can create your own instance also. Now, these two people are sharing the same instance. If I change here, the second will be affected. If I change here, the first will be affected, right?
Yes,
But the
yes,
third one is not getting affected, right?
yes, yes.
It maintains its own instance for the service. Now, there are two instances for math service. One instance is used by two components. One instance is used by another component. For one particular component, one particular dedicated instance is given.
Yes.
So when I do anything here, nobody else is affected. If people are doing something with that, I am not affected. So please create a separate instance, a dedicated instance for my component only. If you want show, add providers array here. Do you understand?
This is really awesome. Thank you.
Yes, yes, really helpful.
That's,
So that's been whatever the initial value was there in the service, only those will be available in the third component.
Correct.
And sir, like we also do, I mean, component to sibling components like using service data communication. But at that time, if someone changes the data, to second component will be also affected, right?
Yes. If it is service, it will be
Yeah.
affected.
That is good or not? That is not good, right?
For parent to child, we are not supposed to use
Yeah,
service.
yeah. But in
For
normal sibling
non-related
components,
non-related components, use service.
that is not a good thing, no? Then in that case,
No, that's not a good thing.
yeah.
So when same instance is used for the different component, that is a single tone. Is it correct? And that is a singleton service.
Yes, correct. Singleton means only one instance will be created for all the components.
But when it is different instance used, is there any term for that?
No, there is no specific term. It's no more singleton now. We are maintaining two instances. Now, this meth service can be used by whole application. If you don't want to make this service available to the whole project, then don't add it, delete it. Just write like this. So when you change it like this, it will not be available to the whole project. Now it stopped working. Now who wants to use? Which module wants to use?
Let's say math demo 3.
Math demo 3 is not a module. Let's say
Sorry,
one module wants to
app
use.
module, app module wants to use. So in the app module
If
provider,
app module wants to use,
yeah.
app modules providers array will add that.
Uh,
Now
Oh,
all the components of app module will be able to use it. Other modules will not be able to use it. So one instance will be created for app module. Yeah. If there is a component from other module, he won't be able to use it.
correct.
So there are three options. One is provided in root. It makes the service available to the whole project. If you don't want, delete it. If you register a service in the modules providers array, the service will be available to the module. All the components of this module will be able to access. If you add providers array in the component, for this component, a dedicated instance will be created. It's
okay.
not a common instance.
Okay. Here we have provided the providers in app module level. So here as well, it creates a two instances, right?
Here also it creates two instances.
Oh,
One instance for these
demo
two
one.
components, one instance for math demo 3.
Yes, got it.
So when we change here, the second one will be changed. When we change the second one, the first one will be changed. These two are sharing the same instance. But this guy is maintaining a completely different instance. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Achha,
So these are the
one more questions like
yes.
for example, I have a, it's not related to the service component related question. Like I have a component in a different module, not app module. Let's say app module 1, I have another component. So I want to use those things in the app module, those same component I wanted to use. So what I will do, I will export that first from that component, exports array I will write app module 1, and in this component imports array like this app module.ds, I need to write it down, right? Correct.
No, let me cover that. Suppose we have a different module. Let's say we have a different module. The module name is ng generate module. The module name is login. Login is a module. ng generate module login. So it will create a module called login. What did it do? It created a module in source. Like app, there is another module called login. App is a module, login is a module. App is a module, login is a module. In this login module, this is login module. In this login module, suppose I want to create a component. If I want to create a component, I'll say ng generate component inside login module, create a component, login component. So inside login folder, create login component. So what it will do, login component will be added here in this declaration array. Seems I made a mistake. Okay, inside app it created a login folder. So I'll delete it.
Acha, login should be in the app level.
Yeah, no, I'll delete. I'll show you. Give me a second. Source app login. I'll delete. Login is deleted. In app modules also it would have made one entry. I'll delete that.
No, it doesn't added entry. You check the files.
It added one entry.
Oh,
Okay. Now the path was wrong. I'll give a better path. ng generate component. Come out of app folder.
/login.
Go to login. Then the
Create a
component name is
folder
login.
components.
Right? Is it correct now? Yeah.
Maybe you can create one of folder components and then
Okay. So in source, there is a module called login. In login, it created again components. In components, it has login, right? So this makes more sense, right? App
yes.
module has its components. Login module has its components. Now, you can see the entry is done in login module. The entry is not made to app module. Do you see that?
Sir, one question I have here. So, how did it understand that it is a login model only under which it is based on the folder or?
Yeah, based on the folder. Yes.
by default it's app module. Otherwise, we have to mention the full path.
Correct. By default, it is app. Otherwise, we have to explicitly mention. So, there is a component called login. That login component is created and registered in login module. Now, there is a component called center, which is available in or there is a component called app component, which is available in app module. This guy wants to use app login. Do you think he will be able to use it?
No.
No.
So it will say this component is not available in your area. So we will get error. We are getting area. We are getting error. App login is not a known element. So there is one error. Angular saying this component is not there in your area. It's somewhere else. So don't use it. If we want to make it work, then if we want to make it work, then the login module, the module who is the owner of this component should decide. The owner of the module, sorry, the owner of the component. Who is the owner of login component?
Login.
Login module. So that module should give the permission. So if it writes exports login component, maybe this login module can have 100 components, but wants to export only one component. That is possible because somebody requested, so this login module is exporting one component. Otherwise, they are not available to other modules. So even now it is not available. This guy is okay to export. If this guy is okay to export, the consumer module, this is the provider module who is the owner of login component. He decided if somebody else is using my component, I have no problem. Only that is not enough. The consumer, he is the consumer. App dot module is the consumer. The consumer module has to add that owner module here, login module. No need to get one component. One module will talk to another module. So this module is talking to login module. In login module, whatever exported members are there is now available to app module. So even app component will be able to use login component. Do you see?
Yes.
This is how it works. So the owner module will export, the consumer module will import the module, not individual components. No need to import individual component. Okay,
Yes, sir. This is really
this is
awesome.
called intermodule communication.
Okay.
This is called intermodule communication. Even if a component is not there in our module, we can still use that. But the owner module should first approve that by writing exports, and the consumer module should import that module like this.
Okay. One question. We
Yeah.
can create modules inside app folder as well, right?
We can create modules inside app folder also.
In that time, the components inside the new created module is available to app module directly, right? App modules component.
Maybe I didn't try that.
Because anyway, that component, that module gets imported in app module when we create that. So
Is
I
it?
think yes.
Yeah, but we can try that. We can test that. So you mean if you create a module
Inside the app
inside
folder.
app, and inside that if you create components, they are directly available. That's what you are saying?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can try that and confirm me tomorrow.
Okay. Actually, at time of doing self study, I did that. I'm
Okay.
thinking I'm doing the wrong way because you show here different type of creating the login components. I didn't try this.
Okay. Okay.
At time of self study, I'm creating component inside the app folder.
Oh, you are creating different modules and components inside app folder only.
Yes,
So
yes,
that time you don't have to do this, right?
yes. I don't know this type. We can create the component this way.
This is how we should do actually, so
So
that the modules are completely different. Uh,
yes, yes.
And sir, we do in this approach because of lazy loading, like different module we
yes,
can load.
yes, yes, yes.
Actually,
So
at
it
that
will.
time, I didn't understand the lazy loading concept, but now I think it's a
Yeah, maybe when we start with lazy loading, it will make more sense.
yes,
It,
yes. Okay, thank you.
no problem.
Thanks to you. I mean, you
Let's
cleared,
carry
I
on the
mean,
exercise
my
topic.
5 years doubt actually. Let me tell you. Like,
No,
I
but
thought
it's
like
very
one by one
interesting.
component we need to import, and but it's not the case. Like entire imports we need to, I mean, consumer need to do module level.
Yeah, this is
And
how it should be.
we can also like in the index.html we have app root now. Now
Hmm.
in the main.ts we have the platform dynamic dot bootstrap we have app module, we can write login module also, right? For
We
e-filing.
can. We
So
can.
that time bootstrapping will be with the login first.
Yes.
Okay.
So did you understand what he is asking?
Yes, sir.
What is the question? So in index.html, we have used app root. I don't want to bootstrap from this. I want to write app login. Will it work?
Now no.
No.
Now no. Only this much change is not enough.
Yes, yes.
Then this
In
is not enough.
main dot.
Go to main.ts. In
Yes.
main.ts, we are saying app module. I don't want to make this main module. I want to make login module as the main module. Then again, this is not enough. It will go to login module.
Yes, we need to bootstrap that.
Login module, there is no bootstrap. So add bootstrap, login component. This should be fine,
Yes.
Yes.
but this didn't work. Okay.
Okay.
Angular.json, maybe you need to change the path. Or
No. Go in login module. I will tell. Yeah, here common module. We need to use the browser module. Line number 2. If you
Yeah.
go in
Browser module.
Correct.
actually that common module we need to remove.
Yeah, that is no more required, but let it be there.
Yes.
Important.
Again,
Now,
we have to
No, I think
sorry.
we imported wrong.
copy paste the input and let's try. Let's see. প্ল্যাটফর্ম ব্রাউজার ভাই আমার ইন্টারভিউ কোশ্চেন হেভি লেভেলে আনসার দিচ্ছে শুনবে আজকে সকালে কিছু পড়ায়নি সব আমার ইন্টারভিউ কোশ্চেনগুলোকে রি লেভেলে আমার ইন্টারভিউ কোশ্চেনগুলোকে বিশাল 40 মিনিট আমার ইন্টারভিউ কোশ্চেন ডিসকাস হচ্ছে আমার যা হেল্প হচ্ছে না
Yes, sure.
ইটস রিয়েলি অসাম great
Because whenever we are creating new module, then it comes with the common module, not the browser module. So only app module has the browser module component imports, and other child components or other components has the common module. That's the difference between app module and other modules.
Yeah. Good that you people are exploring all these things.
So sir, now route, I can have one route or two routes? I mean, just asking in this situation.
We can have 100 routes. For every module, we will have a routing file.
Okay. Now, as a part of app route, can I load these login routes also, right? Login component also.
We are not supposed to do that.
Acha.
Every module should have their own routing file.
And we can pass data like define module component to this module, like we are passing component. Now component itself so will not enough. Data is also needed.
Data we can always do. We can, while consuming the component, we will pass as a props at the rate input.
Okay.
That is always there.
No, this will to become now, let's say, login component inside my app module. Somewhere you have used login component. So
Yeah, I can pass in app component.html. In app component.html, I can always pass some data here. Who is the user?
Okay. There is no
Something
parent
like
child
this.
relationship right now.
No. Now it is not there. It is used in index.html. But ideally, the root component, nobody will pass input to root component. But other components, we will pass inputs, right? We can pass inputs like this.
No, that is fine, but define module level component, is it recommended to pass data like that way? Like first time what you did, like login module created, over there one login component is there, but I'm using that login component inside my app module somewhere.
We will not do that. Ideally, all the related components related to a particular module will reside inside one module. So, the related components, they will pass data from one component to another component which is related to that module only. Ideally, we will not come across that situation in real-time examples also. All these permutation and combinations you can try out, but we will not come across such use case very frequently.
Okay.
Yeah, I will revert it back. To revert it back, I'll go to login module and login module. Let it be. Let it have browser module. It's not a problem. Let it has browser module.
And one last question, like Angular internally uses Webpack to parcel and bundle and all those things at the end. So can we change those things? Like define bundler
We
can
can
use?
change those things. Yeah,
We can change. Okay.
we can. We can change. We'll discuss that part also. We have a plan. Okay, again my app module and components of app module are loaded.
যা পড়ালো না 50 মিনিট আমার 5 বছরের ডাউট ক্লিয়ার করলো বিশ্বাস কর সার্বিয়ানের কতজন কত জুড়িয়ে গেছে
Fine. Is it clear? So we'll continue with HTTP.
Yes.
Recording stopped.
You people have to pay extra 5,000 to me. You are taking more time than the expected time. Each one of you have to pay 5,000 extra. Everybody is silent now.
No.
We are ready to cancel like this is like that don't end your class like you are
Actually,
getting
I'm also saying, please don't end your class.
keep on continue this once it is finished also.
We will miss you actually.
How long?
I mean
Forever, no
forever.
problem.
You keep paying. Per month 5,000 you keep paying. I'll never close this session.
No problem. We will do that.
This is the value is more than the money, sir. The value that you are providing.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so
Recording in progress.
what was the last discussion? Yesterday we were discussing how to create the JSON server, how to create our own data, how to run the data from a file. Are you guys done with that much?
Yes.
Okay.
আমার একটা আটকে গেছে জানিস তো মেয়েটা বলছে provider
So you are able to read the data from a file, right? It works like API. Yeah?
5 বছর ডাউট ক্লিয়ার করলো
Okay, good. So either if your JSON server is up and running, or you have some fake URLs, either if you have some fake URLs, or your JSON server is up and running, you are able to read data from a file, or you have actual APIs up and running, then we are going to start another topic, how to fetch the data from API and render in UI. To do that, we need two things. First thing is, make this HTTP client module available to our module. If you want to use HTTP concept, first of all, we have to make HTTP client module available to our module. Import HTTP client module from @Angular common HTTP. This line we have to add in our app module.ts. This is very first point. So we have to go to app module. We have to go to app.module.ts In app module, we have to import another module. That another module is HTTP client module. It comes from Angular Common HTTP. Only importing is not enough. We have to add in the imports array also. We have to add in the imports array also. Once this is done, one more module became available to our module, that is HTTP client module. Then I'll create a component. Let me see if I have a user component. Okay, users component is there. I'll create another component. The component name is ng generate components slash user list. User list. User list is a component. I'm creating a component. The component name is user list. Users component is always already there, so I'm creating user list. Now
Okay, when it's here, it identifying login terminal. I'm going to terminal.
it is going to log in.
Yes. Okay.
No.
Okay,
No.
I think I saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Screening was
Now,
not.
yeah, it's okay. Now I'll go to center component. In center component, I will comment all of them at once, and I will enable app user list. Then now if I go to my UI, it is saying that your user list component is working. Now what is my requirement? My requirement is go to this URL, and from this URL fetch the user's data, and render in a table. To do that, what I will do, I'll go to users list component. In users list component, we have to do something. Point 1 is done. Then point 2. Make HTTP client service available to our component or service. First of all, we will try with component. Later, we will move the logic to service. In the component, I will inject HTTP client service. HTTP client is a predefined service. I'm not sure why the auto suggestion is not working, but it should work for you. You can give it a try. I'll import manually. Import HTTP client. For you, it should work. From at Angular common HTTP. So HTTP client is a predefined service. It's a predefined service. Using this predefined service, we will fetch the data from URL. So to fetch the data from URL, what is the best lifecycle method? The best lifecycle method is ng on init. In ng on init, I will write
I think we
this
can
dot.
function and call this function on engine.
We can call a function fetch user data. Fetch user data. Fetch user data we can call, and this fetch user data is a function. In this fetch user data, we will say this dot HTTP client dot. It has all these methods: delete, get, head, JSON key, options, page, post, put, request. This dot HTTP client dot get. To this get, we will pass one URL. We will pass one URL. What is the URL? The URL is this one. This is the URL. Huh. If we use fetch user data old way, I am saying fetch users data old way and new way. Don't get confused. If it is old way, in JavaScript way, if we do it, we will make the function async. Then we will write here await fetch, and we will get const users. Then again we will say users.json. Const final data. So fetch user data JavaScript. Fetch user data JavaScript. This is JavaScript way of fetching the data. Make the function async. Await fetch the data from the URL. Then await convert the users to JSON format. Final data. Then console.log final data. So this is old way of fetching data. Even in Angular application, we can write JavaScript code. This is 100% JavaScript code. If we write JavaScript code, there is no need of HTTP client and all, but this is not good. This is not good. We will understand how it is different from HTTP. We are able to fetch the data array of 10 users. But this is not the best option. This is not the best option. This is not recommended. What is recommended in Angular? In Angular, fetch users data. Angular. This is Angular way of fetching the data. So this is Angular way of fetching the data. In Angular way of fetching the data, we should write this dot http client dot get will hit the URL. The URL looks like this. When we hit the URL, actually your fetch method returns what? Can you tell me what is fetch method returning? Promise. If it is returning promise, we can get the data using then method, right?
Correct.
But here get method, HTTP client's get method will return one observable. If you want to do that, let users observable equal to so we can do that, and let's print this. If I print here console.log users observable, you will see like this. This is one observable. This is what? One observable. What is this? It is one observable. If it is one observable, then it has lot of operators. Using those operators, we can fetch the data. Okay. If there is one observable, to get the data from observable, we have to write user observable dot subscribe, and we'll get the response. Then once the response is available, we can print here the response. If you want to give it to HTML file, declare a variable here users. Declare a variable here users. And if you want to give the data to HTML file, this dot users equal to response. Now this data is available to HTML file also. The HTML file can use this variable users. So you will see that this is JavaScript way of fetching data. This is Angular way of fetching data. What did we do? First we are calling the URL. It returns one observable. That observable dot subscribe. If it was promise, we would have written then. If it is observable, we will write subscribe. So observable dot subscribe. Subscribe is a predefined word. Observable dot subscribe. We will get the response. That response we can assign it to users. So that component.html.
List.
Yeah. I'm just copying the HTML code. That's all. Okay, better I will type it. tr, th, tr, th, username, email, city, phone. I'll print only 4 columns. Let user of users, then td, user dot username, email, city, phone number. So we should be able to see the data in a table. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
So this data is live. This data is live. The data is coming from live URL. It's not mentioned in any array or so. User list from live URL. Do you understand?
Yes.
So the
If you
await
don't
show
want,
await returns promise, right?
sorry?
This await line number 20 returns a promise, right?
No, await doesn't return a promise. Fetch method returns a promise.
But await eliminates those then and all and with the better syntax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, how can we define observables? Means what are observables?
How can we create observable, right? That's what you are asking.
Means I'm not familiar with terminology. That's why I just
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Today, what are we doing? Today, we are just discussing if we call a function, it will return me observable. If it returns me observable, how to get the data from observable? See, for now, please understand that whenever I am making a call to get method, it returns me one observable. If I have one observable, to get the data from one observable, it's not a plain variable, it's a observable variable. If it is observable, to get the data from the observable, we have to write observable dot subscribe. If I subscribe, then only I'll get the data. So for now, we will remember only this much. In upcoming sessions, we will understand how to create observable, what is the use of observable, how observable is different from promise, how many callback functions it takes. Today we discussed with only one callback, but observable ideally takes 3 callback functions. So those things will be discussed in the next session.
Yeah. Sir, one question like line number 20. After that, again, if I write another API in the same way, await fetch another API, JSON holder one from there. So it will come one by one. Like first one will be called and then second one will be called like that way, or it is not the case.
Yeah, it will call one by one.
And it will complete first and then let's say first one is bringing ID and second one with ID I need to get some details. So if I write like that way, so it will work in that way.
It will work in that way.
Okay. Or we can also write callback, right? In my previous way, or first one will be called.
We can write then inside then.
Then inside then that callback chain that we are talking. Yeah.
Sir, for fetching method, you can use catch method for error.
Very good. Yeah. So we should write a try catch also. What if it goes wrong? What if it goes wrong? Let's say intentionally I'll make the URL wrong. If it goes wrong, what should happen? It should show some information to the user. It's not doing now. So to handle that, the way response is a function, the same way second function we have to pass. We have to pass error function. In the error function, we can say something went wrong. We'll discuss all these things in our upcoming sessions. How to handle the error. If the URL goes wrong, if something goes wrong while getting the data from the URL, this error function will be called. If everything is fine, then this will not be called. This will be called. Yeah. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So today I explain how to fetch data from URL using HTTP client. The assignment for you is you should have a button, and on button click the data should be collected. There will be a button, fetch users list. If I click the button, first I click the button. When I click the button, first it will show a loading icon for 5 seconds. Not 5 seconds, I don't know how long the URL will take. By the time the URL is fetching the data, there will be a loading icon. When the data is available, the loading icon will be gone and the table will be shown. Will you do that? That is the assignment for you. So there will be
Set timeout.
no, why will you use set timeout? No need to use set timeout. This URL itself will take some time.
Yes.
That URL itself will take some time to give you the data. At least 1 or 2 seconds it will take. So for that amount of time, I want one loading icon. You click the button. As soon as you click the button, the loading icon will be shown. But we don't know after how much time this URL gives the data. When this URL gives the data, this code will be executed. So there you have to write the logic to close the loading icon and show the table.
Yes.
You got it?
Yes, sir. We'll do that.
Yes.
So what you call the loading icon or something is
Yeah, in Bootstrap we have a loading icon.
In
Or else you simply write a H1 with loading.
yes,
Okay.
yes, we can do that.
And write some if else condition. So there will be a button. Let me tell you what is my expectation. Users. So there is the button. Just assume this table is not there. Assume the table is not there. As soon as I click the button, I will set a flag to true. If the flag is true, I'll say the loading icon, right? I am not supposed to explain you that concept. I'm expecting you to do it.
right.
So when I click the button, first it will show loading or fetching, whatever you feel comfortable. Fetching the data. When you click, it should say fetching the data. Once the data is available, fetching should be gone, table should be shown. Right? To have better experience, user experience, you can use Bootstrap Spinner. You can use Bootstrap Spinner. You can use this spinner. Okay? Have you ever seen this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Where do we see this?
in any website.
No, no, no. I mean, in long running processes, right?
Yes.
Correct, correct.
If a process takes some time, we see this, right?
Yeah.
While booking IRCTC ticket, we are
Yeah, that is
participating.
commonplace.
It's like
And I think they don't have if else written. It
it's
will
like
always show loading, loading, loading.
it's a lottery ticket only.
Yeah, that's true. In IRCTC, you will only see this loading. You will never see the
And,
page working.
and I have seen in some website they are not showing the spinner, but they have some wave kinds of thing like
That is called Sima
uh,
UI. Sima UI is something in
okay.
Swiggy. If you open swiggy.com, we can get that.
We are talking about these things.
No, no.
Yeah, sir,
Or
once open
maybe
swiggy.com, quickly just click swiggy.com. Just sign your location Madhepura, right now, locate me. Allow. Just notice the background. See, it was the black box initially coming, and then suddenly the page gets rendered.
Yeah.
So I have used in one of my project, like
Hmm.
Sima UI we call it, and the same, like it's gives a better user experience. Like our eyes gets a smooth experience in terms of in the similar box getting rendered with the data.
Yeah. What Alok was saying,
can,
is it related to
can I
this?
share my screen?
Yeah.
No, it's different. Let me just share my screen.
वैसे दांत नाप का है वैसे निकल नाक दी में बोलोगे
So let's say this is the website,
वही
and
जाके
you
और कितना
notice this part where all the pictures are. I'll refresh this page. You
Your
see?
screen is not visible.
Oh, really?
ना visible you are
Visible,
open
visible. Have it visible.
Okay. You see this part on the lower side, there are 4 pictures, right? 4 pictures and 100 bot since yesterday. 20 people have been seen now, right? You see this part?
Yeah.
Let me zoom in.
Yeah, it is visible. Yeah.
Okay, let me refresh the page now. You see, it's. Did you notice?
I didn't notice.
Okay, let me refresh it
refresh.
again. You see the box?
Yeah, that's what is called Sima UI. That is what the Sima UI.
Okay. Yeah,
You
I
see,
can
it's
see
loading
that.
now. It's loading
Yeah,
on screen.
it's loading now. Yeah, I can see that.
What is it called? Sima UI.
Sima UI. If you search in the internet, Sima is HIMMER.
This one.
SHIMMER.
Or you can change your internet speed to slow
Oh
3G. You
yeah.
can
This
get a
is
good
for.
experience.
Uh,
Nowadays it's
because
trending.
okay, yeah.
I think what he has earlier shown is nothing but the shimmer UI.
I mean, it's nothing but the same div now we have. Like we have, instead of loading, we are loading a replica of those divs that we have created in the components. Like 4 cards are there, so we are simply running a loop of 4 cards with empty data with some height and width. And the time data is coming, that is gone, and the data is getting placed.
But how do you know how there are 4 cards here? Because
No,
until you get the data, you don't
it
know.
is a thing like, see, you will never open the entire website, right? So like Swiggy, first page you are there, right? So
Uh-huh.
we are putting a logic like dynamically. You keep on scrolling down. I will also keep on increasing that,
Oh, okay.
and you will not have infinite time now. I mean, you can get it quickly.
Hmm. But what I feel here is since this page is already loaded, it should cache the data instead of
It's
loading
cast.
again.
It's cast.
But why it's still taking time if it is cached?
This is not a single page application looks like. So
That might be depends on network.
Yeah, actually, all these are guess, but we can't say 100% until unless we see the code. But
Yes,
looks
yes.
like the data is cached. We can only relate. We cannot say 100%.
That's true.
Sir, if one URL is given to someone, some URL, let's say this URL, some Angular application URL, from there can anyone tell that which version of Angular is used? Is it
No,
possible?
there are online tools. They can use online tools and they can identify.
Oh, okay, okay.
From URL, they cannot say.
How can we say? I mean, URL you can run it, and after that, by inspecting or anything, can you tell?
By inspecting, you can tell this is Angular application or React application or not Angular React. That we
But
can tell.
version, can you tell?
Version we can't say. We can't say. Version we can't say. But there
Yes,
are
yes.
online tools. If you add the URL, that online tool tells you everything.
Oh, that will
Which
tell the version
But
also.
yeah, that will tell you the version also.
Okay, okay.
but maybe you will not get for all URL because I was using one URL to see what backend technology they have used. Most of the cases for government URL, they will not tell you. They will tell it's a secret.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They hide the
Yeah,
console
that's true.
log and remove all those things. Even networks tab also hide the like some of the things.
Let me search what was that I used long back.
When someone asked me today, I said, how can it be possible from the URL version?
No, from URL we cannot identify which version of Angular we are using.
I mean, we can, if I have the code base, I can go and check the package.json, which version is installed.
Yeah, that's true. If you have code, you can check it. That is
And
always
sir,
there.
what is the recommended? So let's say I have used 60 dependencies, like package.json, I have 60 or 50 dependencies. And now some of the dependencies are deprecated, some of the things are upgraded with newer versions, but my project is using still the older dependencies, let's say. So what is the recommended way to upgrade those things? Like something, let's say some Sentry or some logging dependency, something we're using.
We
We should
need
say,
to no, we
Mhm.
need to run the scanner periodically, and we should see what all changes needs to be done in the project. So periodically we have to scan our project.
Scan means manually I need to
Otherwise,
check like all the in an Excel file, write down all the dependencies that I have, what version is written, and internet
no,
what
no, no,
version is.
no. We don't have to maintain an Excel sheet for that. You just do npm install, then there is something, some command is there to audit your project. You can
Okay,
audit the project. That is called, if someone can share the screen and search how to audit a Angular project, you will get the command name. Run the
okay,
auditing command. You will get what all libraries you are using, which libraries you are, uh, I mean, compliant, non-compliant. You will get everything.
okay. And in order to upgrade to the latest version, let's say Bootstrap 3 I'm using. I want to upgrade to Bootstrap 4, the latest one, let's say. Bootstrap 5 came now. So what shall I do? I need to simply
We
uh,
need to change it in package.json. We
manually,
need to do npm install.
manually we need
Then
to
we
do,
have
or someone will do it for us.
we can do it. Plus, we have to understand because of that upgrade, do we have any code change or not?
How do we
So those
understand?
that we need to understand. I mean, that's a knowledge. We need to have that knowledge. In
Okay.
HTML, in Bootstrap 3, what is the class we use to add a border? In
Correct.
Bootstrap 5, what is the code we write to add a border? So Angular or Visual Studio Code, they are not that intelligent that if you change from Bootstrap 3 to Bootstrap 5, they will change your class names also. No, nobody is
Yeah.
that intelligent.
So it will be rework then, right? Like lots of team
It
members
is a
have.
rework. It is a
Uh,
rework.
okay, okay,
There is no other option for that.
okay. And can we do like this? Let's say I have a scenario like I have using a grid. I mean, kind of ng grid we all know, right? table rendering kind of purpose. Lots of things is there. So let's say I want to use the latest version of it. So if I simply now the thing is, if I use the latest version, no, some features, some functions are different in the latest function. For
No,
example,
every library they will give you the steps. See, in Angular also, when you migrate, when you upgrade from one version to another version, they have mentioned the steps that needs to be followed.
okay.
Update.angular.io. So they will tell you if you have one Angular project in Angular 10 version, now current version is 15, your old project is in 10. So they will tell you what all things you have to do. Show me how to update. So they
Okay.
will tell you step by step explanation. You have to do it. Nobody will do it out of the box for you. You have to follow all these steps one by one, all the steps you have to follow. Then only your project will be migrated from Angular 10 to Angular 15.
Okay.
So first of all, do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, like this. You have to do all
Now let's
these
say you are changing
mentioned
to
steps.
TypeScript 4. You change to TypeScript 4. Now some of my codes are written in TypeScript 3 way. Those things
You
will not
have
work.
you have to change your code manually. There is no other option.
Oh my god.
Coding things we have to change.
Or can we do
Configurations.
something like we write fallback, right? Callback, right? Like something is not working, then work with this code. Like in ngGrid, I'm using version 3, and now let's say I have two CDN. One is version 3 and one is version 5 CDN. If version 3 you are not getting the function, go and check from the version 5. Can we assign like that way, or it's not possible?
No,
Not possible.
no.
Okay, okay. It's really a tough
So
task in upgrading versions.
yes. Okay. See you tomorrow then.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for the great session.
No problem. The
Thank you.
pleasure